Hey, everybody, welcome back. So, officially in the new studio. Whether or not this will stay, depending on how busy I am, you guys are used to doing dishes and cooking and all that stuff with me at this point. So, for today, we're at least going to enjoy the studio. And my dog barking in the background, if you can hear him, I try to stop him, but we've had an earthquake and high winds, and the neighbors are doing their thing, and he's freaking out today. So, if you hear him, I apologize. If not, excellent, and the microphone's good, and it's a good thing that we're back in the studio. So, today, and potentially next week, depending on how long I go, this may end up being two parts, but we have to talk about the Nick Shirley uncovering all of the fraud in Minnesota situation. Because this actually has broader implications, and currently they're trying to make it a Democrat versus Republican situation. But I need everybody to wake up, take the black pill for 5 minutes so that we can all move on to the white pill, which is truth and light win in the end, and digest, and let's move forward. So, welcome back to the Green Hat Girl podcast. Let's go! So, a little bit of background. And hopefully at this point, everybody has seen Nick Shirley's video. He did an absolutely excellent job. And the fact that they uncovered that much fraud in a single afternoon should send off all kinds of alarm bells to you, because that was just in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So, first, what people need to understand, I'm from the north. I'm from the rude north, okay? Where it's like, it's cold, but it's not quite like uber almost Canada cold. When you go as far north as Minneapolis and further north, the reason these people have the kind of, oh, they're the nice people attitude, these are the people that when they get new neighbors, they bring you a pie. You're looking out for each other in like the most extreme winter weather that happens in the Midwest. So what you end up with is just some fantastically good-natured, good-hearted people who want to be welcoming and inclusive and take care of their neighbors. Okay? That's just Minnesota in general. I have family that used to live up there, and I'm going to break that down too, because he was up there when the Somalis all kind of came in, and it kind of broke him a little bit. But I've got some family from Minnesota, and these are seriously the most down to earth, kindest people, because they do have to go through all of this together. And most people don't understand the type of crazy winter weather that they get. So, anyway, these people are just good natured, good hearted people who want to be kind. The government knows this. So, when refugees come in, these are the kinds of communities they put them into, because those people are good natured, they're good hearted, and they don't want to be called racist. So, when a couple people start asking questions in these areas as they're, moving in half of Somalia, they get called racist and Islamophobic, and you name it, they get called it. And being the kind of good people that they are, it hit home. So they shut up. So the Somalians started coming in all the way back in the early 90s. And of course, they put them somewhere like Minnesota, where the people are kind and decent. And if you start to just call them Islamophobic and all of these terrible things, of course, they're really not going to push back too hard, because that's not what they want to be known for up there, because they are genuinely good people. But this has escalated to Minneapolis is basically mini Somalia, and it's insane. The Somali community up there is massive. So come late 2000s, early 2010s, I had a family member that moved up there and started experiencing this. He worked in retail and he started experiencing this Somali population. And what he told me was, I became a single issue voter. And that single issue was, we have to stop just bringing in all of these people and putting them on government checks and allowing them to run amok. They don't conform. They don't assimilate. They shove our people out. And like I said, Minnesotans are some of the best people in this country, guys. You know, there's like the deep South that really takes care of each other, and then there's the Great White North that really take care of each other. So you end up with all of these wonderful people, and now they're being forced out of places. They see all this fraud going on. These are very aggressive groups because they're tribal. Because we pulled them from the third world Africa that's still very, very tribal and stuck them in with one of the least tribal groups of people in the world. These are like give the shirt off of their back to someone they don't know kind of people. And you took that tribalism and jammed it down their throats. And anytime we saw it in Nick Shirley's documentary, anytime they're really confronted, they come out in mass. But these are not high IQ people. So, first, the government brought them in. Okay, we went and did our US thing and got involved in someone else's country. And then, of course, there's refugees. And instead of putting them into, a similar country as refugees, oh no, we're going to bring the third world into the first world and crash one of the best communities in the world. And just dishearten all of the wonderful people in the area. Because that's what government does, okay? So, now we've got all these people up there from the early 90s to now. Like I said, my family member was up there in late 2000s, early 2010s. Moved out of there because of this, by the way. That and he hates the weather, but moved out of there because of this, because living in Minneapolis was excruciating. So we have all of this tribal culture now going on up there to the point where Matt Walsh pointed out there was literally a tribal feud that affected the mayoral election. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. Matt did good coverage on it. Okay? Worth a watch. So we have all of this going on, and now we have Nick Shirley uncovering all of this fraud. Bear in mind, though, and remember what I said already. Our government did the usual thing and went and messed around in someone else's country and then brought them all back here. And how many times have we seen this? Over and over and over again. We keep mucking around in other people's countries and other people's stuff, policing the world, but then all the refugees come back here. Okay? Our government's doing that, and it's left, right, and center. Like, this is not a partisan thing. This is left, right, and center. We muck around in someone else's country, cause chaos, fill our country with refugees. And our government's like, well, we had to stabilize the region. But man, these people are without homes and they play on your emotions and convince you that, like, oh, we did the right thing by the people. But by doing the right thing by the people, there's all of these people who can't be homed and we need to take care of them. I'm sorry. We are not the police of the world and we are not the caregivers of the world. And I'm done with it. Because it leads to this. It ruins the lives of good, hard-working, decent Americans to have these people put into their communities to begin with, let alone what Nick Shirley just uncovered in fraud. The actual smartest person that he talked to is the one who's taken the most flack right now. The woman who said this is not a partisan issue nailed it. Nailed it. And the coming days are going to prove it out. What I really need you guys to pay attention to is that Ted Cruz and JD Vance and Kash Patel and all of these people are out here saying, wow, Nick Shirley, look at him uncovering this. I can't believe our journalists don't, blah, 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 blah. Why are they all just tweeting about it, guys? Because it's going to be all talk and no action. Just bet. It's going to be all talk and no action. And here's why. Because they're all one big club and we ain't in it. Okay? Democrats and Republicans both participate in this type of fraud. Both are complicit in it. And the Republicans are funny. The Democrats will get exposed. And they'll just pretend it didn't exist. Okay. Tim Walz, he'll probably still get reelected. Everybody that's up there doing their thing probably still going to get reelected because Democrats are just going to be like, Russia conspiracy, Russian propaganda, right? It's just going to be fake news. Okay. And the Democrats are still going to keep voting. That's why there was the lady outside of one of the daycares in Nick's thing, just like screaming, there's ice outside, don't open the doors. There's ice outside, don't open the doors. She didn't actually care about the truth and the fraud that was being uncovered. And she just kept screeching. Because that's their voting block, guys. They will believe everything the mainstream media says. They aren't going to watch or pay attention to what real true journalists are doing, because let's be really honest. Nick Shirley is now a real journalist. He might just be a YouTube guy, but uncovering that level of fraud and putting feet on the ground and doing these things, that's what changes the world. And that is what journalism used to be back in the day. Like way back in the day, okay? The government has owned them for a very long time. But their voter base doesn't care. They just don't. It's not going to be a thing. So the Democrats are just going to keep getting elected. Tim Walz is probably still going to be there. Heck, Kamala might try to pick him back up for another run in 2028, which apparently she's gearing up for. Okay? Democrats won't say boo about it. They'll pretend it doesn't exist. If somebody brings it up, it'll be a Russian propagandist hoax or Republicans are evil and blah, 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 blah. Republicans will stomp their feet and look all serious and say lots of mean things and pretend that they mean business. And then do nothing. Somebody on X said, well, the Republican Party's full of eunuchs, so they just won't do anything. It's not actually that, guys. It's that they're benefiting just as much. They're doing the same stuff. It's just a little bit more behind the scenes. And the two groups act different to keep this left-right divide going, to distract us. Okay? That's the black pill of the whole situation. One big club, we ain't in it. Okay? All the money laundering, all of the fraud, they act different, and Democrats get exposed, and Republicans act angry and, go on this whole moral crusade. And it's all one big show. And we're all just stuck in it. And you're about to see it all happen again. Because this level of corruption is enough to like forcibly remove everyone from Minnesotan government and Minnesotan just government jobs across the board. Anybody who's touched any of this one, I don't even, was it like 40 minutes? If that? Yeah, 42 minutes, 8 seconds. This one 42-minute, 8-second documentary is enough to take out like the entirety of Minnesota and really investigate and backtrack all the way up to the Fed and remove anyone who's touched it. But none of that's going to happen. None of that's going to happen because the Republicans that are in power are all involved in the same crap. Anyone who went and watched the latest Elon Musk interview with Joe Rogan knows this. Doge just shut down, guys. They shut it down. They just like Elon's time was up. He left and just quietly in the middle of the night, no more Doge. Nothing was ever done. No one went to jail. Nothing ever stopped. All the programs got refunded. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Everything they found, and it was a lot of valid crap and a lot of waste, it's all slowly just being put back. Because left, right, and center, our leaders are making bank. Okay? It's not just the insider trading in the stock market. You know, Pelosi and Crenshaw, they're on it for that, man. Woo, they make money. But is maybe some of that hiding some of this money that's like circling back to them somehow? Maybe just a thought. They're all complicit. They just have different roles to play. No one's going to jail. Nothing's going to get done. And we all need to wake up. Every one of us that is just a hard-working, tax-paying citizen needs to wake up. Because the core of this country was no taxation without representation. And I'm here to tell you right now, we aren't represented. This is not a republic anymore. This is no longer a constitutional republic. And if you notice, over time, they've changed it to, we're a democracy. We were never set up to be a democracy, and our founding fathers knew that this was going to happen. When they finished the Constitutional Convention, they were asked, what kind of government do we have now? And it was, we have a constitutional republic if you can keep it that way. We didn't keep it. It's no secret. We didn't keep it. We're down to a democracy, okay? And a very bad one at that. Dog just came and wagged his tail at me. He's cute. And a very bad one, okay? So this is a democracy where there's election fraud. This is all one big game for show. They don't actually do anything for you. We all pay taxes. And they use the Somalians and other groups. Nick Shirley brought the Somalians to the forefront, so that's where we're going to stick with for now because it's a great example. They use the Somalians to steal that money and cause all kinds of fraud, and there's a kickback somewhere, okay? Government employees and politicians don't just let this happen without money coming to them also, okay? Nobody does anything for free. Let's be honest. So that's the black pill, right? And I guess there's more to it than that. One of the other comments I saw online was, how is it that this whole group of people who come from a place that has like an average IQ of 60 do all of this? And the answer to that is because someone taught them how. Someone is aiding them. And I'm here to tell you it's the people who benefit the most who are more than likely your elected politicians. Okay? That's the only thing it can be, all right? These people are not super bright. You could see it in Nick's video. Really, really good con people have like 8,000 answers and they're going to get out there and be really articulate. Somalians aren't that. Okay? No offense. They're just not. They're not the brightest group. And anyone who's watched Ilhan Omar in Congress for the last way too long knows that, okay? It's like an open secret that she got into this country illegally, doesn't belong here, committed fraud to get here, and somehow is sitting in a congressional seat. Meaning somebody in the government wanted her there. The UN's about to get taken over by a Somalian. Do you know why? Because the people with the lowest IQs, who are very tribal, are the easiest to manipulate. Right? You see it in Americans. You start getting people all tribal and warring amongst each other. And anytime something happens, there's a large group that reacts in a big tribal way. But their group gets smaller and smaller and smaller all the way down the line. Okay? LGBTQIA. Oh, but you were mean to the trans people. Trans people are really the women. Okay, so you have like LGBTQIA and feminists will all work together out here. But when you get down to it, like they're really super tribal groups. All up, all in. And the government wants it that way because you're really easy to manipulate when you're like that. So bringing in a bunch of low IQ Somalis who operate that because that's how Africa works, great, right? Super convenient for them. Hey, you guys are going to make out like bandits, but we're going to take X%. Okay? We're going to put Ilhan Omar in there. We're going to help you find a way to make it like good for Somalia and Somalians, but we're going to take our cut. Right? And their tribalistic nature just bleeds through and helps those in power to keep us all divided and keep doing all of these things. There's a reason why Minnesota in particular is a great breeding ground for all of this. George Floyd happened there. You know, the Kyle Rittenhouse situation happened there. There's a reason Minnesota's all tied up into this. And it's because really great, trusting, neighborly people got manipulated by all of the language and, oh, you're racist and blah, blah, blah. I've been called every name under the sun. Every 5 minutes, I get called something new. I don't care. Like I said, I'm not from like the nice part of the North. I'm from like the in between where, yeah, we just don't care. Okay. Don't care. Not super nice. Had to learn to be a little Southern to live where I do because I came off really bad. So I had to learn to be different. Okay. I don't care. The really nice neighborly Minnesotans, they cared through, the early 2000s. They're now getting to be about done because they know they've been had. And it's horrible because you made one of the nicest groups of people, one of the states with the most generous, open-hearted people, you made them jaded. You made them take the black pill. And that's shitty. It's just shitty. You turn people into single issue voters. And that single issue is get these people out of my country. That sucks. But that's where we're at. That's the black pill I need everyone to take. Next time, I'm going to film all of this at once because I'm already on this, but I'm seeing how far and how long I've been going, so I am going to break this into 2 sections like I said I would. Next episode, I'm going to give you the white pill. Because yes, there is hope. It's just going to be the harder thing to do. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Don't be too depressed by the black pill. Know that there is a way out. It ain't going to be fun, but we're already in it anyway. See you next time.